Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. And to all our parishioners and friends from outside Holy Family who are joining us today in this Mass as we honor Saint Anthony of Padua. Hindi po ito kasama sa regular schedule natin. Baka nagtataka yung mga tao. Gabi na ba? No? Kasi usually we celebrate the Mass at 6 p.m. No? We are celebrating this Mass. Hinahabol kasi natin yung Saturday. No? Supposedly we were to celebrate this Mass in the morning of this day, but I had to attend to the ordination that happened earlier in the diocese, in the Cathedral of Cubao. That's part of my responsibility. So kakauwi-uwi ko lang. Kaya medyo sabog-sabog pa si Father nung pag-uwi rito sa pagod. We are honoring Saint Anthony here in our community because of the presence of our religious brothers na talaga namang ramdam na ramdam ang inyong presensya at kabisado na ng mga tao ang boses nyo. Kasi every Mass that we celebrate, kayo yung nangunguna sa ating pagdarasal ng Lauds, ng ating mga devotions and whatnot. So it is good to reflect on the experience of religious life. Looking at the life of Saint Anthony himself. When we look at the image of Saint Anthony and when we try to remember instances and events in the life of Saint Anthony, the more popular ones, there is a certain kind of peace and serenity when a person looks at Saint Anthony of Padua. By the way, Saint Anthony is not really from Padua. He is a Portuguese. He's a Portuguese. But that is part of the story of his journey towards becoming a doctor of the church. Saint Anthony somehow expresses an image of love, of gentleness. That story when Saint Anthony was speaking with the child Jesus. It somehow gives us an image of Saint Anthony na medyo nakakakonsol. Ang bait-bait naman. Talagang very gentle. Very talagang dahan-dahan. Ano siya, malumanay sa buhay. Angelic. And well, that is true. But Saint Anthony is also known to be the hammer of heretics. Bakit siya tinawag na hammer of heretics? Kasi talagang nilalabanan niya ang mga heretics of his time. And looking at these two somehow opposite characteristics, we will perceive an image of the religious life. I remember the gospel where Jesus tells his disciples, I'm sending you like lambs among wolves, but I'm also giving you this power to overthrow them. Parang religious life is not entirely just an escape from the troubles of this world. Religious life is embracing rather the troubles of this world. Saint Francis himself, who stripped himself of worldly and material things, did not escape the world, but rather, upon stripping himself of these material things, he went into the world and evangelized the world, embraced the world, and desired to lead them back to Jesus. But at the same time, as he was doing that, yung kanyang pagtingin sa kanyang sarili ay hindi isang pag-aangat ng sarili. Kaya nga si Saint Francis hindi naging pare. Di ba? He remained a deacon. He remained a deacon. He refused to become a priest. Siguro dahil tinitingnan niya yung sarili niya na aba at hindi karapat-dapat. So, how should we understand religious life? It is not an escape from the world. And it's not to be weak even. Sabi ko nga dun sa message ko sa bagong ordain na pare, sabi ko walang paring takot, walang paring duwag. No? Dahil ang pagpapari ay pagyakap sa krus, pagbibitbit ng krus. Dahil lang tumawag sa iyo ang unang bumitbit ng krus. No? Siya ang unang bumitbit ng krus. No? And so, when we say yes to the ministry, when we say yes to mission, no? Katulad ng sinabi sa gospel natin, let your yes mean yes, and your no mean no. No? Siguro hindi nga talaga yun for the faint-hearted. No? No? Religious life is trying to understand that you are embracing everything. No? You are not there to become that butterfly among the flowers na flying around, no? That image. You are there to become a shepherd. No? You are there to become a shepherd. And when the moment calls you to become like, no, a hammer to people, you should become a hammer. No? But in moments when you are being called to become a loving father, you are being called. You should act on it as a loving father. No? Yan ang impression, yan ang idea about it. No? But the struggle is not just outside. In trying to embrace the religious life, it's not just outside. There is a greater struggle within. No? There is a greater struggle within. Sa iyong sarili. No? At dapat mong aminin yan. No? Lahat tayo ay dumadaan dyan. Ang isang taong nagsasabing walang struggle sa kalooban niya ay mapagkunwari. No? Lahat tayo ay mayroong, no? Struggle within. No? And the battle within is greater than outside. Dahil marami pa rin tayong mga kakulangan, marami pa rin tayong mga pagkukulang sa buhay bilang isang tao that somehow contradicts the mission, contradicts religious life. No? And so the battle starts from within. From within oneself. The words of Jesus. Let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. Anything more is from the evil one. No? Our human weakness and limitation somehow tend to bring us, to go around the bush, find our way around, what is expected of us as we fulfill our responsibilities, in our mission. But we ask Saint Anthony to inspire us, so that we may really give ourselves entirely to him. Now, kanina ay sa katulad ng sinabi ko, nag-ordination sa cathedral. For the first time, ay may ordination na walang tao. Sampu lang kang sa altar talaga. Kami-kami lang talaga nila Bishop. At nung una, nung nagpe-prepare sila, sabi ko, madali lang yan. Wala naman tao eh. Pero kanina, talagang napagod ako. Ang hirap-hirap ng ordination. Ang hirap-hirap. Bakit? Kasi walang ibang nandoon. And we had to handle everything. And I had to direct everything and do it myself. Hindi na ako yung nagtuturo ano yung gagawin, kundi ako na mismo yung gagawa. Takbo rito, takbo habang nagmimisa. Habang nagmimisa. At given na may mga protocols tayo, so certain parts of the celebration of the rite of ordination had to be changed a little. Hindi na siya katulad ng dati. Kailangan mag-alcohol before and after contact, kailangan cotton ang gagamitin, yung pagpapatong ng kamay, lahat kailangan mag-alcohol before and after. Ang dami-dami. It was so complicated. But at the onset, sa mata ng tao, the perspective of people, it was a simple celebration. You see my point? You see my point? In the eyes of people, it is so simple. Pero doon yung experience namin, it was so complicated. It was so complicated. That is religious life. That is religious life. In the eyes of many, it seems to be so peaceful and, consoling. Heaven. But in reality, it is a struggle. It is a struggle. But within that struggle is found the grace of God. It is the only way for us to receive the grace of God. No? As we face that struggle that He allows us to embrace. And so we reflect on the attitude of Saint Anthony of Padua. We reflect on how he intervened in the lives of people, and how he was able to bring about a good perception of the faith to people. Na sana'y tayo rin sa ating mga pananaw, sa ating mga pakikitungo sa mga tao, wala tayong ibang ninanais kundi ang matagpuan nila ang Diyos. Matagpuan nila ang Diyos sa ating pagsisikap, na mairaos ang ating pang-araw-araw na buhay, sa ating pagsisikap na maunawaan ng mga tao sa ating paligid, sa ating pagsisikap na makatugon ng oo sa tawag ng Panginoon ng paglilingkod. Sana'y maging tapat tayo sa Kanya upang ang biyaya ng Diyos ay dumaloy sa ating lahat at maranasan ng iba.